How do you retire on Tesla stock even if you have less than $25,000 in your account right now?
I'm a Tesla bull. Most of my wealth is in Tesla, and I see a future where Tesla will dominate the world like Apple, Netflix, and Amazon, but on a much bigger scale. You see that Tesla is not just a car company, but a utility, energy, artificial intelligence, life savings, robotic manufacturing company disrupting the biggest industry.
In my opinion, there's multiple 10x's coming up still for Tesla. I think there's another 10x just from full self-driving and EVs. Then there's energy and utilities. Potentially, there is Tesla bought Optimus Prime, where you are going to get a robot that will basically do everything for you, including making money. So I think from here, right now, from where we are, I think there is a very good potential for Tesla to 100x over the next few decades. But then, of course, why would you listen to a guy holding a spatula, talking into an imaginary microphone who's worth over $10 million, who's not even 30 years old? Chicken Genius Singapore, by the way, is over 40 years old.
I have a high degree of certainty that Tesla will be the next biggest company in the world very soon. I've done my projection models before in detail, but for the sake of simplicity, calculating the free cash flow, the revenue growth, and total addressable market size by year 2030, the base case for Tesla should be worth about 4 trillion minimally. My bullish projection seems too stupid at over 10 trillion, so I'm just going to leave it here at 4 trillion. Accounting for share dilution, a 4,100 Tesla price target per share is my worst case. If you want to go into more details, Frank Pillin did a fantastic job in his latest post, way better than me. I'll link it below. His evaluation models are sick.
Tesla year 2030. My bull case is 11,700 and bear case 4,100 per share. Most projections will take the midline, but I'm taking a price target of 6,900 nearer to my bear case, giving a higher margin of safety. Do note I'm cutting Frank Pillin's estimates by half. I have no incentive to inflate the numbers. As I'm doing this video presentation, I'm doing it for myself too. My approach is a conservative approach to give a higher margin of safety. Financial independence, retire early. In short, FIRE. It's a movement. It means withdraw what you need from your stocks portfolio for your daily life and invest the rest. This is not a dividend play. Most dividend stocks don't move much, or worse, down. Investing in high quality growth companies, the capital gains will surpass dividends received. So as your capital grows, you sell stock to fund your daily life. For example, if you have $400,000 invested and your $400,000 grows at 8% a year, look, I'm taking 8% because I'm benchmarking to the index with a further margin of safety. So while your money grows, you withdraw what you need at $2,800 a month for 30 years. Because the invested capital keeps growing, at the end of 30 years, you will still have $201,000. It's amazing, right? If you decide to withdraw more, $3,500 a month, in 18 years, you will have used up all your money. So the goal here is to find a sweet spot.
So Ken's and my personal projections for Tesla stock are similar. Not exactly the same, but it's very, very similar. And we're gonna get soon into how, starting with just $25,000, you can set yourself up for retirement with Tesla stock. So now let's take a look at extreme margin of safety and how many stocks would you need to own, how many shares would you need to own to retire safely according to Chicken Genius Singapore.
10% more is because we want to live a comfortable life and not eat instant noodles every day unless instant noodles makes you happy. When you are retired, the cost of living drops. You do not need to travel as much, entertain as much, socialize as much. Okay, that's subjective, but your cost of living drops when retired. Also, you do not work, so there's no income tax. Tesla is a high growth manufacturing and software company. 40 to 60% annual growth rate currently And by the time Tesla matures, growth rate should look like Apple at about 20%. 20% is still very high. So benchmarking Tesla to slow down less than the S&P 500, I'm really applying extreme levels margin of safety. Most retirement calculation takes only 15 years. You work till you're 65, and that is if you are still alive and die at 80. I think that's bullshit. I'm doubling it to 30 years. Retire earlier, life is short, and make the most meaning out of it. This is where my audience come from. Living is roughly the same. You need $375,000 to live a comfortable life. With $375,000 invested in Tesla stock, and it magically managed to give you donkey returns at 8% a year. Okay, do note everything here is in USD. The cost of living is $1,951. And as mentioned, I added extra 40% so we live a good life. With $375,000 invested and withdrawals of $2,731 a month every month for the next 30 years, at the end of 30 years, you will still have $30,726. And that translates to 54.34 Tesla shares needed at 6,900. Assuming my worst case scenario, you need 91.46 shares of Tesla to retire very comfortably with a high margin of safety.
Currently, when I'm recording this video, Tesla stock is $733 per share, per one share. And assuming that you want to retire by 2030, and assuming that these numbers here, that's your cost of living, I think most people have higher cost of living in the US. You can do those numbers as well, and we will do some of those as well. But let's just start with this one right now, and then we will get into how do you retire in Tesla stock if you have only $25,000 per share. So if you need this much money, and if you are planning to retire in 2030, you need to buy this many shares in this case, or in this more safer case, let's start with this one, you need 91 shares. So we will take the Tesla stock price that we have today, 733, and we will multiply it by 91.46 shares needed, which will then, if these projections come out true, which is the bear case of Chicken Genius Singapore, by 2030, if this comes true, then you would only need to have $67,000 right now, US dollars, to get to this number by 2030. This is the bear case. Now, how about this more base case? And then we will get into the bull case, which is where things get really interesting. So $733 per share that Tesla is worth right now. And then we need how many shares? Let's say 54.5 shares. That would be less than $40,000 that you would have to put into Tesla stock right now. And if these projections come true, and if you're able to retire on $2,700 per month, you only need $40,000 today, which to me sounds so little. So now let's get into how do you retire with just $25,000 in your account by 2030.
These are my uncensored numbers. Capital required to retire is $240,000. Tesla on average will return 20% annually. 20% is extremely fair considering Tesla is a business that fundamentally grows at 50% a year. And I'm not pulling random numbers. So in my previous video, some mentioned the numbers I gave for cost of living is not enough. So for this video and for myself, I'm very comfortable with $4,000 USD a month, and you should too. And for those who dare to say that $4,000 is not enough, please reflect on the lifestyle inflation. There are billions of people living below $1,000 US a month with a full family, happy and carefree. I believe $4,000 US a month is good enough no matter where you are in the world. So with $240,000 invested in Tesla stock, you withdraw $4,000 US a month every month for the next 30 years. And at the end of 30 years, you will still have $240,000. So why didn't your capital go down? Remember, you withdraw what you need and you invest the rest. If $240,000 capital is needed and you divide by how much I'm sure Tesla stock will be worth by 2030 at $8,636, you will need 27.7 shares. You translate 27.7 shares today, stock price of around 800, it's $22,000 in today's money. And if the stock price shoots to $900, it's about $25,000. Guys, $22,000 buys you freedom. Freedom. Anybody not willing to spend $22,000 to take a chance to buy your life back, no matter how I look at it, it is stupidity at its max.
Now, this second part of the video, where you only need $25,000 today to retire by 2030, is obviously a little bit more of a spatula approach, the funny approach, but not so serious approach. So this should be taken with a grain of salt, with a little bit of skepticism, perhaps, with a little bit of caution. Is this possible? If I had to pick a stock where this is possible, Tesla is the one, but I think it is possible with. However, would I bet my retirement on it? Not based on those bull case numbers, because things could go wrong, something could happen. There's many things that could go wrong, potentially. However, the way I calculate my personal retirement, at least, I just take the number that I want to make, and then I just assume that from my net worth, I can only get 4% per year maximum. And then I work out the numbers. How much do I need to have in my net worth? So for example, if I need $400,000 per year, that means that I would need to have a net worth of at least $10 million. Now I need a lot more than $400,000 per year. So in reality, I think I lived a lot of my life with just $1,000 a month, and I could retire just on a few $1,000s per month. At this point, I don't need to work. I just work for fun and because I want to be useful. So that's why I keep working every single day. Maybe stupid of me, but I just feel better about myself. I don't like to feel bad about myself. So I would suggest taking just 4% approach. So you take the number that you think you need to have per month, and then this is what you do. So for example, let's say you need $5,000 per month, which I think is a more realistic amount that most people actually need or want for retirement. So $5,000 per month times that 12, which is how much you need per year, and then we divide this by 4%. And if you want to be really conservative, 3%, and if you want to be stupid conservative, go with 2%. We'll start with 4%. So 4% is 0.04, and then we get $1.5 million portfolio that you need to have to feel really at ease. Now let's get into some risks that can seize with the stock.
I've covered this multiple times. In fact, I'm quite sick of replying to this actually. If your thesis is not to invest in Tesla because if Elon dies, I think it's the stupidest shit I ever heard of. Not investing because someone might die, it sounds ridiculous. So what if Elon steps down? Okay, his exit will be like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Tesla is running like a freight train. It's hard to slow it down. The next concern is inflation. Yeah, it's a valid concern 10 years from now. But if inflation kicks in more, stocks will go up even more than inflation. So what's the problem? The only concern I have about inflation is lifestyle inflation. I really don't know like what other excuse or other reasons anyone can come up with not investing in Tesla. Hey, put it down if you've got more shit reasons.
I think what Chicken Genius Singapore here was really trying to say when he was recording this video at the time is that if you don't invest in Tesla stock, I'm gonna spank you. I think that's what he really meant. He didn't say it, but I think that's what he meant. Once again, I love Chicken Genius Singapore. I think when it comes to retirement, people should be more conservative. I am a big Tesla bull, but I think for retirement, you should base your retirement based on 4% withdrawal rate or 3% if you're really conservative, or 2% if you're extremely conservative. And I think it's better to make a lot of money. And if you don't know how to do that, I can make 2 videos. One is how do you make $10 million in less than 10 years, which is basically what I did. I got a $10 million net worth liquid in less than 10 years. And I reached my first $1 million mark at the age of 18. So if you guys like, I can make a video, how do you get to $1 million or $10 million? If this video does well, and if you're watching this after it's been already released, then you might already see suggestions about those videos here. In the meantime, watch the next video, why I personally believe Tesla stock is a safe investment, and why I invest in Tesla stock. I will see you there. And one more thing, there's another video you should really watch. Why Tesla bot Prime is already possible. I believe Tesla bot is the single most important product that Tesla is working on right now. We won't see results from it and profits from it for a long time, but if it works, I believe that will make Tesla, the stock, 100x. Will it happen? I don't know. Eventually it will. Will it be Tesla? I don't really know. But I do believe in full self-driving very, 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 very much. That I have a deep conviction on, which I believe will make the stock at least 10x. That's just my personal opinion. Thank you for watching.